All right, today we'll be discussing dealing with difficult clients. Oh man, I have so many stories. I don't even know how to even explain this generally. Um, as a freelancer, when you start, you are definitely going to have difficult clients. There is no even two ways about it. You would, unless you decide not to be taking on projects. As long as you take on projects, you have difficult clients, right? And there would always be situations whereby you and the client would both, you know, hit heads together. That's for sure. Um, Best way so far that I've been able to deal with difficult clients is actually to refund their money back. That is the best way I have personally been able to do that. Then get my own peace of mind, because to me there is nothing more important than peace of mind, right? Um, But maybe there are situations whereby you cannot refund the money back. There have been times I had to even borrow money just to refund money back to the client, because at that point maybe the client is now becoming very, very annoying. Um Damn, man. So many I've been in this game now for over 12 years, so there I have so many crazy stories. How so many people, want to take advantage of your services. You might have a very wonderful client in the beginning, right? You guys have discussed the project scope, everything, overview, and you start working on the project. And once the project is done, the revisions that they will start providing you would be totally out of the project scope, and you now start having to battle with them and now start explaining that what you are bringing here is not actually what is on the project scope, that this is an additional. And they'll keep on saying, um um they'll keep on fighting with you with it, even though they do know, they are aware that actually this is not part of the um project scope. They know that, but that is why they are difficult, because um I feel for you, to be honest. It's not something that I really can. Every situation I've had with a difficult client is unique. So, and the one single thing that I've been able to use to get myself out of a difficult client is actually to refund them back their money. I don't want to come here and lie to you now and say, first and foremost, you will not have difficult clients. That's a lie. Second, you saying because if I browse about this now online, I'm sure I'm going to see rubbish. In fact, let me quickly do that. Let me see how to deal with difficult clients. Let's see. We have one from Forbes: 12 effective strategies for dealing with difficult clients. Let's see what they say. Approach the situation with curiosity. You see, this is crazy. Some people, there is no way you can approach that situation with curiosity. Once they have made up their mind that they are going to stress you, they are going to stress you. Name the elephant in the room. If you sense something off, simply state what you notice. I notice there is situation, there seems to be tension, or we seem to be getting off track, or ah, man. Understand the true issue at hand. If What do you mean by understand the true issue at hand? If you guys are having issues, right? You've already known the issue. So what is now the true issue? Set relationship rules up front. You've done that, but they would still try and suck it up, buttercup. Hmm. Like, let you do it. Let them go. Reset the rules and railroad. Tell them what they want to hear. Reframe the concept. Implement this specific client model. Begin with, oh, this is all rubbish. It's all bullshit. It doesn't work. When you're in the thick of it, is unique. There are some. You, I feel like if you've done the project to the end and the client becomes difficult, that is the most annoying part, right? I would rather the client is difficult in the beginning, which is why I always advise freelancers that are starting up. Once you start a project, try and give an update every week. I don't mean give an update in writing. Upload it to a server. Let them look at it. Let them toy with it, play with it, sign up, register. Let it be working. Honestly, that is what saved me, because in the beginning I had one client that after I was done with the project, the client started doing revisions like it that was totally off the project scope, and was telling me that ideas doesn't come fully formed. What does that mean? you know it was a very very crazy situation. So after that day, what I now started doing is very simple. I would get a project, or after a week, I'll give an update. We'll enter a Google Meet, we'll review the work together, make sure we are in alignment. Now, if we are not in alignment in that first week, and it's something that I cannot go and start readjusting, I will now refund the money back. I prefer it in the beginning, in the first week. Not when we are done, you are now saying, because some clients, some dev may know, or engineers, please apply this to whichever freelancing you are in. They may not show the client what it is during the process of building. It's now when it's done and they'll be like, this doesn't make sense at all. You know. And one thing I've also noticed that have helped me is asking a lot of questions. In the beginning, before you take money from a client, ask as many questions as you can. Just keep asking questions. Keep asking questions. It will save your life. Because the more questions you ask to understand the project in full details, the better you are going to be able to know if this client is going to be difficult or not. If you are dealing with a difficult client, they don't want to be answering questions because they know what they are doing. Maybe not consciously, but in my head, subconsciously, they know what they are doing. They want to give you vague information. They want to make it vague so that when you tell them a price, they would now start adding things. I remember there was a client reached out to me for a project and told me he wants an e-commerce store, full stop. And I was like, an e-commerce store means so many things. Explain in full details. What do you want? Is it that you want something multi-vendor like Jumia, or more P2P like Gigi? Or how do you want it? What is your, what's your flow? What's your documentation? How is your models going to be like? He said he does not have all those things. Well, what he wants is an e-commerce store. How much am I going to charge? And I told him, no, there is no way I can, you know, give him a cost when I don't know what he's going to build. And he kept on insisting that I should go and look at Jumia and Konga, and I should do something like Jumia or Konga. And I told him he has to prepare a documentation. He said, no, I should just replicate something like Jumia or Konga. Based on my experience so far, people like that are difficult clients. There is nothing, if taking that project will just lead to, obviously, I did not take the project. I had to leave him alone. If he cannot settle down and prepare a documentation of what he wants, he is going to be a very difficult client. Because if you start on a project, this has actually happened to me for real. All this build something like this, but change the design. If you start on a project like Jumia, for example, and maybe after a 3 or 4, 5 months, you are done with it, and Jumia does an update during the process of your development, that client is expecting you to do that update, forgetting that that update was probably not there when you started working on it. You see? Because they told you that they want something like Jumia. So it is a very tricky situation, you know. I don't even near it. If since 2022, I don't think I've worked on any project that does not have a documentation. And it has saved my life in so many ways that you would not even believe. Because man, some people they are willing to they are willing to make you even regret why you're even a software engineer. You'll be like, ah, why did I not do something else? Why am I not in banking? Why am I not in what is all this headache for? What am I? The client has once made me feel very depressed because anytime I think of his project, I just feel tired. Once I wake up in the day, just the thought of his project makes me tired. Just the thought. Like, I've not even sat on my system, I've not even started working. Just the thought because of how crazy it was. A client that it was in the earlier days when I started. I dealt with a lot then. So much because the if you work on the project and you send him the something to review, his revisions is usually even more than the project scope. And back then I was ignorant and I was naive, and this kept on happening and happening and happening. At the point, it got to the point where I was just working on revisions. Like the main project, I'm not even. It's just revisions upon revisions upon revisions upon. It took me, yeah, 2022 December. It took me 3 full years for me to decide that I'm not doing this again. I told him to. I got somebody else that I told him to get somebody else and let the person say how much it's going to cost to finish up whatever is left. Let me pay, and I paid that person. So it's not it's not it's not a straightforward answer. You know, maybe when you listen to this audio series, that's if you even listen to it, that you see that maybe I did not even give you an answer to this. It's what it is actually. You would fall in, you I've not met any freelancer that has you know stayed in this game for a long time that has not had a difficult client. I've not met one. You would definitely get one that would be very difficult. That is, so just prepare your mind for it. So once it comes, you know that at least you are getting the information beforehand as you're starting out, because nobody told me actually. Um, and nobody told me. I had to learn so many ways to avoid it. At least 2024, I had only one difficult client compared to other years, which means I'm getting better at it. 2025 now, luckily, I may not even have anyone. I pray, I pray I don't, because man, those kind of people, you know, yeah, it is what it is. I think that's the end of this. Um, just ask many questions. That is the only thing I can advise you on. Ask as much questions as possible. Make sure that there is a documentation. And always think of it in the back of your head. I rather not take this money than I take this money and have to refund it. To refund is very painful, but at least it will give you peace. So it is better you don't even take the money than you take the money and have to refund the money back. You know, the best way, because your reputation is all you have as a freelancer. So if you want to go the other route of I'm not refunding it and I've done the work, blah blah blah, it will hit your reputation. I've had a difficult client before that was so difficult that I refunded the money back, and he was shocked that I actually refunded the money back. And funny enough, I had to borrow money to refund that money back, but the pain was too much. I refunded the money back to the guy. 2 years later, he reached out to me for a project, and I flatline said no. Then he now started begging me. I was telling me that he made a mistake. I was the best developer he has met. Da da da. That the way he left with the project, he was not able to see anybody that would do it the way he wanted to do it. That he's willing to even pay double. I said no. I said no. He kept on pleading and pleading. I wrote a full documentation, the guideline that there will be no revisions and everything. I think maybe he has learned his lesson. Later on, I actually charged him triple. He paid for it, and I got the project done. He actually kept his word, though. He did not do any revision, but he liked what I did. Today, I think we are getting closer in a way. I don't know. But he calls me from time to time, and we do talk, we do laugh. But in that initial stage, man, it was not funny at all. Well, I refunded his money back in full, and that is a project I was working on it for like 6 weeks. But I just could not handle it anymore. But he at least he came back, and he actually was worth it at the end, you know. Um, so some people, I think, in a way, they don't know what it takes to build a project. Like I said in my previous video, somebody once told me, "Are we buying raw materials? Is it not just to type?" How can that person be a good client? That person can never be a good client to you. And luckily for me, I was smart enough because this was when I was still naive, but at least I was smart enough to know I cannot work with that kind of person. You know, I did not do anything with him. I immediately said that that was the end, because if they don't value your work to that point of saying, is it not just to type? What else are you going to be discussing with the person? Any discussion you're having is at your own loss. You know. So, yeah, always make sure that if things get bad with a client, because if you take this freelancing game serious, you definitely get somebody that is like that. Just is I think it's worth it to refund their money back. You may not get that client back ever again. They may even go out there and say that you're not a good person. But one thing for sure is that you're going to have peace of mind. Like, every refund I've made came with peace of mind. It came with, man, I don't need to have to worry about this client ever again. I'm telling you the honest truth. Every single refund I've made, I did not regret it. I had no regret. I felt very peaceful. Very, very peaceful. You know, I didn't even care about the work I've done already. And there are some wicked people that will tell you what of the time they have invested in the project. Those people are very wicked. Those people, it has happened to me once, and I told him to go and sue me, to take me to the court. You know, take me to the court if he believes that his time is more valuable than the time that I've put in writing the codes and everything. I mean, in association to that project. He's the one that is supposed to pay me for my time that I have invested in writing it. None of them actually does that, you know. Well, yeah, it's crazy, you know, because they know. I'm not speaking to freelancers that are crooked, though, because there are some of you guys, developers, freelancers that are very, very horrible. They will give you money to do a project, you will not do it. You're going to take forever to do it. You don't even know what you're doing. Though I'm talking to good freelancers, people that actually want to really work on the project, that are trying their best to make sure they deliver a very wonderful project. And still their client is difficult. Because obviously, if you're a bad freelancer, a bad software engineer, you don't know what you're doing a horrible job, it's custom to get difficult clients, because they I don't even consider them difficult. It's you that is now a difficult freelancer at the end of the day. You're the one now difficult. See, you're the one now. Um, yeah, the tables is switched. You're the one now being difficult as a freelancer. Yeah. So, but as if you are doing your best, and man, man, that refund is very, very sweet. You will have peace of mind. Don't even regret it. If there is anything you take out of this particular audio, it's just the refund is the best way to deal with difficult clients. That is simple and short. All these things that Forbes and all these other people may be writing about how to deal with it, I don't think it works. Bye bye.